Enola Holmes is coming back to the small screen sooner than expected with Enola Holmes 2. As Netflix hasn't put out much official information on the sequel, we're all on the edge of our seats to find out what will happen in the second act. And what case will Enola be cracking this time around? Keep watching to find out. First, when is Enola Holmes 2 coming out? The sequel of Enola Holmes has officially announced over at Netflix, and we cannot wait to catch up on all the details of this detective adventure. The streaming platform first announced their intention to produce a second film in 2020, but it was a long time in the making. From COVID-19 to wardrobe construction, this was a production that faced many obstacles, but it looks like it was worth the wait. The production on Enola Holmes 2 recently finished filming in January and has now entered into post-production for editing and all of the final details before it'll be released. This timeline means we can likely expect Enola Holmes 2 to come out around Q3 for Netflix in July. However, it's possible that Netflix could choose to hold the sequel until the holidays around November or December to boost their numbers. Holiday releases tend to draw larger viewing numbers for the streaming platform, so depending on how things go this year, they might choose to be a little strategic, as the first Enola Holmes film was one of Netflix's most watched originals, and they likely want the sequel to be even more successful. Insiders say that once Netflix starts releasing the trailers for the second film, it will likely be a sign that the release is only a few months off. We can't wait. Next, who will be returning to the cast? Millie Bobby Brown will be returning to the sequel to reprise her role as Sherlock's younger sister, along with her co-star Henry Cavill, and the exciting return of Helena Bonham Carter, who will play Enola's mother, Lady Eudora Vernay Holmes. We'll see some newcomers in mystery roles as well, including Hannah Dodd, Abby Hearn, and Serena Suling Bliss. Another fan favorite, Louis Partridge, will be returning as the affable Viscount Tewkesbury. Then, what will Enola Holmes 2 be about? Because the thriller is based on a series of novels, we have a good idea of where the plot might go ahead of any official release by Netflix. The second book of Nancy Springer's series is called The Case of the Left-Handed Lady. However, it is possible that Netflix could combine several books in the series into one film. While the storyline on the first film was pretty different to the novel, the ending lines up and sets up where we may see Enola in the sequel. Enola lives in the English countryside with her mother, who is teaching her some unconventional subjects. Rather than the demure activities of her peers, Eudora trains Enola in martial arts, history, and chess. When Eudora goes missing, Sherlock and Mycroft plan to send Enola to a boarding school to refine her as a young lady in society. But Enola has other plans. She uses the lessons her mother taught her to embark on her own detective journey in London. The film will explore the suffragist movement, the movement for women's right to vote. This was a defining theme in the Victorian era and a perfect plot for the ongoing theme of empowerment in the film. Next, why Helena Bonham Carter's agent told her to turn down the role. Helena Bonham Carter is a big name in the acting world, from The King's Speech to Great Expectations and even Harry Potter. Helena has had prominent roles in award-winning films throughout the last 2 decades and is famous for playing larger-than-life quirky characters who are instantly recognizable. However, since Lady Eudora is missing and the film is about Enola trying to find her, in this mystery blockbuster, Helena is hardly on the screen at all. She said she found the script to be enchanting when she first received it because the character is so important to the plot but receives so little actual screen time, something that caused her agent to declare the role be too small for her famous client. Luckily for us, Helena disagreed and insisted on being a part of Enola Holmes. Of her younger co-star Millie Bobby Brown, Helena says there's something wonderful about her and slightly scary. Maybe she got spooked by Stranger Things. Regardless, Helena and Millie seem to make quite the duo in this Victorian-era thriller, and the two spent a lot of time together training for the impressive stunts we see in the film. Helena's character actually ended up getting significantly more screen time than was originally written in the script, so it was a win for everyone, and her agent must have been as happy with the outcome as we were. And what new surprises will we see from Millie Bobby Brown? Millie Bobby Brown trained for months in a corset in order to perform her own stunts in the original Enola Holmes, and judging by her Instagram, the actress was hard at work for the production of the sequel as well. The first time around, Millie said that she was training for Enola's martial arts sequences in leggings and trainers and then struggled with performing the same moves in a petticoat, corset, multiple skirts, and heels. Stunt performer isn't the only accolade this 16-year-old has under her belt. The Stranger Things star also scored a production credit on Enola Holmes as a teenager, and the film was her very first leading role. The actress had read the series of books that the film is based on with her older sister and immediately wanted to make them into a movie. However, she was not old enough at the time. We can expect to see even more creative input from Millie in the sequel, as she says the film series is like her baby, and she wants to take as big of a part as possible in the production. The film project allows her to improvise and explore her acting technique in a different way than she's able to do in her role as Eleven on the series Stranger Things. Then Then why was Netflix sued over Enola Holmes, and will it delay the sequel? Enola Holmes is based on the well-known Sherlock Holmes detective series created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the 1800s. While Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself died in 1930, his estate still controls and monitors the copyright to his various works. They were reportedly not pleased with the way Netflix decided to portray the esteemed character of Sherlock Holmes in their Enola Holmes spin-off, and they decided to sue the streaming platform. The lawsuit they filed claimed that the film and TV powerhouse was committing a copyright violation by giving a more emotional side to Sherlock Holmes, rather than portraying him as a simple and serious detective figure. Strangely, Sherlock Holmes was originally written as a more somber character, and this depiction of him is legally under public domain. Later, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle described Sherlock as being more emotional, and the estate claims in the lawsuit that the years of these writings are still under copyright. The lawsuit also named the author of the series of books the film was based on, and the production companies involved in the film. Will this lawsuit delay the sequel? It's unlikely, as ultimately the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice and currently no action is being taken against Netflix, although the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has made it clear that they are not happy at all with the outcome. We guess they won't be tuning into the sequel then. Finally, what will we see in the costume department? The reason that production for this film took so long may well be down to the costumes. Enola alone had 30 costumes in the film that were created specifically for her. Some outfits, such as the red dress the young detective wears in a fight scene in the original film, had to have several replicas made because the scene required such dynamic movement that the costume would get ruined. Costume designer Consolata Boyle and her team together designed, dyed, and produced all the costumes for both the leading actors as well as the extras, something that is reflected in the cohesive final look of the film and contributes to the high quality of the style that we see. Often in film productions, the costume department will focus their design on the main characters and leave the background actors' costumes to be pulled from rental departments, something that can be a problem in stylistic period pieces such as this, where historical accuracy as well as color and mood is an integral part of the film's aesthetic. The costumes are actually a very important part of the film, as the series of novels that it was based on used Victorian clothing as a plot device in order to show the empowerment of the main character. The subversion of conventional female fashion shows us that Enola's understanding of femininity is that of a tool, using conventional Victorian women's fashions as part of her disguises or to communicate messages. The book series was claimed to be a part of the Neo-Victorian movement, an aesthetic movement that reinterprets the Victorian period and includes other popular shows like Downton Abbey. It's clear that the budget left plenty of room for wardrobe, and the costumes of Enola Holmes 2 will be just as spectacular as the first. So there you have it. That's everything we know about Enola Holmes 2. Let us know what you think about the sequel in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.